Chad Brendel, BearcatJournal.com, here with UC Strength and Conditioning coach Brady Collins. And coach, it's interesting because when you guys got here, you had a mentality to change, a mindset to change to get these guys to win, and now you've gotten there. Is there another change you have to make to kind of shift from being the hunter to being the hunted, and knowing teams now are going to have you kind of marked?
Absolutely. I mean, if anything, I think we embrace that now, and we're excited about that. I don't think anybody wants to play football just to be a team that's underlooked or undervalued. Now, you use that to your advantage, absolutely, but now that we know where we are and what we've done, obviously a big motto for us this offseason has been embracing reality. It's on the back of their shirts, and some people outside here could be like, oh, that just looks like a funny saying, but the reality is we're an 11-2 team, went from 4-8 to 11-2, so we're not going to sneak up on anybody now. And we know our schedule is going to be nice and heavy loaded, which, again, that's what dudes want. That's what we want, because you want to play against that opponent. You want to play against that competition on big stages. So, it's been exciting. The guys are still hungrier than ever. They got a big chip on their shoulders, and it's been a great start of the offseason coming near the end here soon.
So we're out here on the practice field. Pro Day just ended.
Yeah.
How big is the loss of this group of seniors? I know everybody was looking on fondly as Cortez and Marquise were doing their drills. They're obviously a big losses on the offensive line. How important is it to have guys step into those roles? Because those guys were huge.
They were huge, and I think a lot of people don't realize how just important those guys were off the field to our program, to this university, to this community. I mean, just unbelievable young men. So proud of them. Wish we had them all back. But, that is the fun and exciting thing about college athletics is you got a young, hungry group, or some guys that played last year returning, coming back. And, those guys set the table and the bar of how it should be done. And this is the way you should do it. So the plan is there. The blueprint's there. Let's do it. Let's enhance it. And, I'm excited that, you're losing 2,000 reps on the D-line. So if I'm a D-lineman, what better motivation do I need than right there is what we had, and now it's gone. So it's a wide open battle, and it's been a great offseason for those guys. And obviously there's a lot of other places that people got to step up and fill. But, the great thing about our team is we're young and talented, but, we're still hungry and we still work our butts off.
The one thing that struck me about this senior class that's leaving, it was small in number, but every one of them played a major. Have you ever been around a group like that where there wasn't any dead weight? All of those guys had prominent roles.
And I think that's what gets lost a lot of times is, what's easy for people to think of. They think of Cortez, they think of Cope, they think of, Dez and Mike Warren and all these names, because those are the flash, those are what's happening now. But the guys that are behind the scenes doing everything right every single day, setting the tone, setting the culture inside and outside the locker room. I mean, those are the things that we love and feed off as much as anything. And Coach Vic always tells it to the team before we take the field, every practice, is that everybody here has a role. And whatever your role is, embrace it and provide value, because, everybody wants to be that guy that's scoring 10 touchdowns and doing all that stuff. But we all know the guy that's hooting and hollering and pushing his brother every single day in practice in the weight room to be better is what ultimately drives a program, and that's our competitive spirit.
All right, let's take a look, as we're 3 days away from the start of spring football.
Man. It's coming. It's coming.
We'll start at quarterback. You've got two guys that are going to battle it out. I mean, you would assume Dez is probably the front runner, but Ben Bryant is not going to back down from him. Then you've got Sopko in there in that room as well. Did Dez get taller?
That's what's funny is every offseason we reweigh guys or re-height them. And he is a guy that for some reason just always looks like he keeps growing. And I think that gets lost in the outside world is, we put on all this mass and muscle and all that stuff, but it has to be smart and methodical, because if I put too much on kids, well, guess what? I'm going to stunt their growth. My biggest thing is I say, we obviously keep our guys healthy, but the biggest thing is they got to maximize your genetic potential. So, Dez is he came in at 6'1", 185 pounds soaking wet. Then he's 6'2.5". 205. Now he's 6'4", 215. I mean, and he's still got so much more room to go. But guys get taller, guys get bigger. Nobody gets leaner, smaller, as I should say. They get leaner for sure. But I'm really excited. That quarterback room is going to be interesting. I mean, you got a great kid in Dez that obviously played and earned it and works his butt off. And Benji's right there, another guy that him and Dez and Ben work out together every single day. And they're pushing each other every single day in every single category, and Sopko's a great kid as well. He busts his butt off in the weight room, and as a whole, you just can't ask for a better group of guys to be quarterbacks on your team than those three.
I think what people miss on Dez, or what they don't know about Dez, is he is not just one of the leaders in practice and on the field, but in the weight room, he's one of the guys
he's unreal. Again, I've been fortunate to be around some pretty ridiculous quarterbacks, and he's right up there. I mean, if you call him out on a road fight, he'll beat you. It doesn't matter if you're Morgan James, Chris Ferguson, Brian Wright. He somehow finds a way to win, and that's his heart, that's his will, that's his passion that he has. It's just whatever it is, he's gonna outwork you, he's gonna outbeat you, he's gonna out-tough you. He's probably gonna smile and talk crap to you when he's done.
He said he was in the you had inflatables in here
That's
today.
That's right. We had a little carnival.
He said one of them was like 30 feet long.
30 yards long.
30 yards long.
Yes.
And him and Brian Wright were battling for like 4 minutes in the middle of it.
Yes.
And
it turned out to be quite a little battle.
Brian is a pretty big athletic dude. Like
big boy.
That's not the guy you would think of the quarterback is going to challenge, but that's Dez.
That was great.
Running back wise, Loaded. Jared Dokes is back.
Yeah.
Mike Warren is Mike Warren.
Yep.
Tavion Thomas, Charles McClellan, and now you add Ryan Montgomery into the mix, and that room has got to be a fun one for you.
More so than just the talent in that room is a group of guys. I mean, Jared Dokes, again, there's so many people on this team that have never seen Jared Dokes play, and that's exciting and scary. Mike Warren, another kid, busts his butt, earns it, right? And the best thing for Mike Warren is Jared Dokes. The best thing for those two is a C-Mac, is all those guys in that room. Because, again, the competitive spirit of the room is only going to make people better. There's not one guy that's the guy. You know it. I mean, you got to have multiple guys that can tote the rock and do different things. And it's been a great offseason for those. Having Dokes back, full swing, has been awesome. He's healthy. He's rocking and rolling. So excited for him to get out here and show, again, this young team that's never seen him, what he can do. But yeah, just a great room, great kids, all different, all unique. My man Chuck's up to 192. That's awesome.
What did he show up at?
He's 161 pounds.
So he's added 30.
That's 30.
And hasn't changed he's still explosive.
I think he's gotten faster, and I think as we saw near the end of the year, he learned what his role was, and he runs so different. When he cuts, it's like he's this close to the ground and just shifty, but he's just such a good kid. But yeah, that running room, I'm excited for.
Offensive line, Campbell, Trout, Boyd, moving on.
The Bash Brothers.
But Ferguson's back, and you've got Jakari, who I think you guys were pretty pleased with when he filled in. But there's going to be, Morgan James.
Yep, Mojo, yeah.
But you've still got some holes.
Yep.
And how has that group come along? I know you've been Woodside and Cooper and the young guys. You've been excited about Metz.
Yes, all those guys.
How is that room coming along?
I tell you what, I mean, Coach says that we're O-line, D-line driven program, and I train those O-line guys, and I tell you what, it is unreal. I mean, the presence of Ferg, like who Ferg is today, as opposed to who Ferg was even last year, 2 years ago, it's not even close. And I think that Garrett Campbell's had a big impact on that. The Corey Cunningham's even had a big impact on that, because he could have been done. He could have hung it up, but the sacrifice, all those things, and he wanted more, and he wanted to get better, and he wanted to do even more here for his team and this program. I mean, huge. So Ferg is unreal right now. He is just unreal. Great leader, work ethic through the roof, really doing a great job pushing that O-line. The old man in the room, Mojo, unreal as well.
Is he older than you?
He is not older than me, but I believe at one time we were probably sophomore, senior, something like that. He's just a great kid. I mean, his workout group every single day is Jakari and Coop, and you want to talk about those three getting after it. Those three are unreal. The new one to the bunch, James Hudson's been great. He's put on a good 13 pounds, which is awesome.
So he's 310-ish? 303?
303. He came in at 288, so my math's probably off there. 15. But doing great, getting stronger, bending, all that stuff. Big Metz is right in there with him, hooting and hollering. The big German is unreal.
What's his size now?
Oh my gosh, 6'9" and 1/8, and he's 325 pounds, and he's got a six-pack.
And looks 265.
Yeah, he is.
It's funny, we were at the bowl game, and standing up kind of out of the rain, there was a couple policemen from, the area, from Annapolis, and he walked up to go to the bathroom. And they all stopped, and they looked at me, and they're like, "What was that?" Yeah. And I was like, "That's a freshman."
Yeah,
they were like,
"That's
he's not a freshman." I didn't tell him he was 21, but they freaked out.
He's a little older, but he's a freshman. But he's been lights out, and what's really great to see is just the depth that we have at the O-line right now. I mean, between whoever the first five are, and then the Metzes, the Harpers, the kid that was playing basketball, not too long ago, to see how much bigger and stronger he's gotten. The Dylan O'Quinns, the Colin Woodsides, who's his dad played here, so it means so much to him, and just how much better he's gotten. And it's been exciting. That group's getting really, really fun to coach. And Jakari Robinson's had his best winter ever, and so that's been huge for him.
How crazy has it been to watch that room go from when you guys got here? They look
crazy.
Looked like a big high school line.
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to anybody. It's just there's obviously a different way that we do things, and we know that to win, you got to have a really dominant, tough, and nasty up front, and both sides of the ball. And I think last year's team really showcased that. The Garrett Campbells, the Trouts, and then a huge part of that was the Ferg. I mean, you watch Ferg's last 3 games. We always say through the whistle. That's how. I mean, Ferg's pile driving guys into the other sideline. No flags. I mean, that's what you want. You got to be big, tough, nasty.
Wide receiver, tight end, names to watch for. Who should people keep an eye on?
Every single tight end in that room is one unbelievable kid, great work ethic, and they're just that room might be one of the strongest on the team. And I mean, you got the Josiah DeGaras, you got the Bruno LaBelles, the big inline bruiser guy. You got Josh Wiley, the Hubers, Lenny Taylor. I mean, the list just goes on and on. They're all great kids. And so that'll be fun seeing those guys mix and match and playing. And who knows, maybe we'll go 5 tight end. Who knows? Wideouts, really excited for the wideouts just because new change. I think that's always great. To me, one of the hardest positions to always figure out is wideout. Why? Because you're either playing with 2 or you're playing with 4. Who are those top guys going to be? And again, with our competitive spirit of pushing each other to make not only him better, but yourself better, so that when your number is called, you're ready to perform. To me, that's been exciting to see because you got guys like Rashad Medeiros, who lit it up last year, and he's a great kid and works his butt off and is slowly getting better as far as leadership in his room. You got the Thomas Geddeses, the Trent Cloud that played a little bit. Ja'Shawn Jackson is a true freshman that played. I mean, he's up 20 pounds now. Like, what's his style of play going to look like now that he's heavier and faster and all that? But I'm excited. I mean, you got big guys in Moj and Alec Pierce, who another great offseason for those guys, and I'm excited.
Defense, we've talked about the line.
Yeah.
That Fitz, Broughton, Copeland.
2,000 reps. Yeah.
Really hard to replace.
Yep.
I know one that you've been giddy over since the day he got here.
Who's that?
Majay is looking probably like moving down into a strong side defensive end.
Yep. I think they got
and the tackles, a difficult task. I mean, those 2 guys, like you said, not only a ton of reps, but they were big time talents at the college level.
It's again, you're not replacing those reps. You're replacing. Well, you are replacing those reps, but you can't replace those people. You can't replace Cortez Button. You can't replace Marquise Copeland. Just those guys that they were inside and outside the locker room. Now, we were talking about earlier, I mean, there's a lot of young guys that are hungry to get that place, like whether they're starting or they're backup. But it's going to take a whole nother level for that group. And again, another position change, which is awesome with Coach Tripp retiring. Shout out to him. He's one of the tough and nastiest guys I've ever met. So, now why is that exciting? Because now kids, they don't have to prove themselves to a new coach, but it's new energy for them. It's a new change for them, just like the whole D-line's new, what new coaches new. So I'm really excited to see how that battle works out. I mean, you got the Curtis Brookses, the Jabari Taylors, the Malik Vans, Marcus Browns, Elijah Ponders, all those guys have had great winners. And then, the end spot, or the Jack, so-called, you got the Michael Pitts, who's had a great winner. Ethan Tucky's back rock and rolling, the young Blake Basevich. And then, let's see who our best 8 to 10 guys are, and let's go win some games.
Linebacker Brian Wright's obviously the mainstay there.
Best offseason for him ever. His body looks completely different. Maturity's better. Just a passionate guy, so passionate that sometimes his passion can be felt in different ways. And I think that's been really cool to see him try to change the way that his passion is shown. And no doubt he's doing a great job, can even do even better. So we got a whole nother summer with him to get him right. He'll be there. You got Perry Young, who literally looks like he could come out here and play right now. I mean, his work ethic and attack to rehab has been just amazing to see. So I'm sure we'll see him out here in spring doing some things, but
very little probably.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take it easy with Perry. And then the sniper position's kind of wide open. We'll see what can happen there. You got Jarrell White back. You got Ty Van Fossen, who played a little bit. You got the new kid Beavers. We're going to see what he's got. So I'm excited. You got a bunch of good guys there. And
maybe your favorite group on the team, the defensive backs. I know there's no bigger fan of Kobe Bryant, of Derek Forrest, and of James Wiggins than Brady Collins.
Yes.
And this is, I'll let people know, this was coming long before last season even started.
Yes.
Whenever we would talk, you would be like, those three.
But there's something about those three, and it's funny. So you know, Wiggs was a guy that was here right before we got here, still young, and he matured and went through the roof last year, breakthroughs, all that stuff. But the Derek Forrest and the Kobe Bryants had the it from day one. And that, to me, has just been so cool to see those. I mean, those guys are all about our culture. They do everything right. They train their butts off. They push one another. They're great brothers on and off the field. But the best thing that they are is that they're competitive. They're the most competitive people I've ever met. And, yeah, those guys, I mean, they're like an extension of me almost. Like, sometimes it's like, why am I training them? They could easily probably train this whole team because they work their butts off. They listen to them. They push each other. And so, yeah, I'm real excited for those guys. I mean, you got what? They're both
They'll be juniors. All three juniors.
Yeah, all three juniors.
One red shirt and two true.
One red shirt, two true. Crap load of playing time under their belts. And again, you know, how does a Kobe Bryant, a Derek Forrest, and a James Wiggins get better from a year last year? You embrace the reality that, okay, you did this last year, we were this good. Now how can we get you better? How can you be even better at what you did last year? And to me, that's what's going to be exciting to see come even in the summer training camp and then season is, wow, that's Kobe Bryant. Wow, look how different he is. That's Derek, that's Wiggs, and so I'm excited.
Is Arquan Bush ready to jump up into that group?
He's getting there, so he's on the 20-pound weight gain as well. He's getting his foot all healed up from he had a bad foot injury in high school and then would flare up on him a little bit through the season, but toughed it out, played in the bowl game, did all that. He should be back to us probably mid-spring, I think, but he's doing good. I can't wait. I'm going to fully get my hands on him in the summer.
And then a guy I've been hearing a lot about is Brian Cook.
Yeah.
You've expressed a pleasure for him.
Yes. One, just the way he's come in. He's been a very business-like approach. You know, it's hard for new people to come into this program now in this culture, and you know, case in point with the Beavers who came from UConn, and no disrespect, but we don't do things like UConn does. And you know, Cook's a local guy, just like Beavers is, but just came in just with a businessman work ethic, attitude, demeanor. Has earned everything he's gotten. He's put on like 15 pounds, and he's just a great kid. We call him the Predator because he kind of looks like the Predator. But just yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, who knows? Safety, corner, sniper. I don't know.
All right, man. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
No problem, bud.